there, friends and sane persons, and welcome to another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. My name is Kyle, and Wednesday Whimsy is a short show I do every Wednesday evening where I talk about a board game, a top 10 list, or some other board game related topic, well, whatever happens to be on my mind at that time. Well, so I talked about a game called, and been kind of a boom of nature-themed games lately, and so I thought, why don't we talk about, my top 10 nature games? So here we I okay. Oh dear. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that 6 minutes of nothing. I don't know how to take it off. Maybe I can figure out how to do it afterward. Anyway, I'm back. Wednesday Whimsy is a short show that I do every Wednesday evening, where I talk about a board game, a top 10 list, or some other top 10 or board game related topic, whatever happens to be on my mind. What's been on my mind a lot lately is nature games. There's a lot of nature games, and nature games are kind of an odd duck to define, right? Because, I mean, animals are nature, plants are nature, and I don't know that this is a definitive list, but it's 10 nature themed games that I really enjoy. So I guess that's how we're going to couch it here. I'm sure there are others, and things like Wingspan, for example, that I like, isn't really thematically all that natural. It's just random facts about birds. So you know, some things might not be on here. Anyway, let's get going, and I will let's see if we can find my where are my top 10 banners? Here we go. Number 10. All right, my number 10 game is a game that I have enjoyed. Now, when it came out, it was a little bit, I don't know, lackluster. But as more expansions came out with it, it got really interesting. That game is Endangered. So in Endangered, and let me pull it up over here. I had this all set before I got kicked out. Let's see if we can't pull it in over here. In Endangered, what you're doing is you are trying to save a particular endangered species. The one that sort of is on the box cover is tigers, but there's a variety of them, even like some rockfish in a cave or something. And the way you're going to be doing it is by rolling dice and placing them as actions. It's cooperative. And then you're trying to get these different countries to vote to support your bills, because in this game, government interference is the way to do everything. Uh, Even though probably not, it is, you are trying to sort of work and try and save these various forms of wildlife. It's a really interesting game. It's really not like anything else. It's a great cooperative game. I will say you do need the expansion for it. The sort of base scenarios, that I think there were 2 or 3 in the box, and they weren't all that interesting. They kind of felt very samey. But once you add a couple of other scenarios in, a couple other animals you're trying to save, the game becomes really quite interesting. Anyway, that's my number 10, Endangered. Let's go on to number 9. My number 9 is a game that is all about nature, and it's one I've talked about recently. That game is, of course, Nature. I I did an episode about it a couple of weeks ago. Nature is a game. It's basically an evolution of evolution, and you are going to be custom building a species that you're going to try to feed and keep alive. And if you do so, you're going to get points, and you'll win the game after a few rounds, depending on the number of expansions you're playing with. It's a great, it looks great. It's a simplified and streamlined version of evolution, but it sort of allows you to have the same experience by having sort of some modularity in there. It's very interesting, good artwork, great game. That is number 9, Nature. I don't know what's happening today. I tried to load number 8 and it kicked me out again. It's one of those days, I guess. Number 8 is, I'm going to go real quick because I don't know what's even happening here. Number 8 is a game that's all about nature. It's a very puzzly game. The game is try and share the screen again because it kicked me out. The game is Reef. Reef is a game from several years ago, but in it you are trying to build up your coral reef by collecting cards, and then you're going to use other actions to score the cards. And it's, you know, a nice nature theme. It's part of nature we don't always, I guess, think about. Most people probably think about the forest, but Under the Sea certainly counts. It's definitely a pretty game. The nature theme might not be as strong as it otherwise could be, but it's a good game nonetheless, and one I really enjoy. That's my number 8, Reef. Let's go on to number 7. All right, my number 7 is a game that's actually kind of new, and it's also about Under the Sea. This is really, I hate to say it, but it's almost a re-implementation of Cascadia, or a marriage of Cascadia and Verdant. And this game is called Shallow Sea. In Shallow Sea, you are, well, you're in the sea, and I guess it's shallow, and you've got this nice picture of a clownfish here, but you're building up your reef. You're going to be taking every turn one sort of scoring tile and one fish, and then you're going to be placing the fish around these reefs to try and activate them and score them, and you're going to be eventually also trying to score these wildlife, which are going to score based upon the positions of other things within your reef. And it's a really interesting game. There's way too many scoring tiles, and it kind of gets in the way. You have to set up because you're supposed to pick out 10. And they're all kind of the same. I really wish that you could just leave them all in the bag. It would really make setup a breeze. But anyway, it's still a good-looking game. It's very simple, very light, very easy to teach and learn, especially if you already know something like Cascadia. So that's my number 7, Shallow Sea. Let's go on to number 6. All right. My number 6 will take us back out of the sea and into sort of a fantastic kind of nature. And this game is Living Forest Duel. Now, specifically Duel, I like Living Forest as well, but the Duel version is really kind of special. Can't I find it? Living Forest Duel, you are nature spirits. Okay, maybe I'm cheating a little bit on this one. But it's what you're trying to do is really some weird deck building. It's kind of an odd, it's almost like Mystic Vale, in what you're doing is you're putting together all these cards in a deck, and on your turn you're going to flip over a card, and it might make you bust, or you can have other symbols that won't make you bust. And then you're trying to win in a bunch of different ways. One way to win is by building up, a certain number of trees in a grid. Another way is by getting this shared tug of war type token to your opponent's side twice, I believe. Another way is by sort of clearing the rows so that it's only your cards in there. And then there's also, you can put out fires in the forest. It's a really interesting game. I don't know that it's made much of a splash here in the US. The component quality isn't great, but it's simple, it's fast, it's really interesting, and it has this nice sort of mystical nature feel to it. So that is my number 6, Living Forest Duel. Let's go on to number 5. My number 5 is, oh, it looks like we have a live viewer. Sorry, live viewer, for all the technical difficulties, but welcome, Pablo. My number 5 is a really pretty game. It's from the same people who did Shallow Sea, and this game is Life of the Amazonia. In Life of the Amazonia, we have, let me try to see if I can find it here. It's hard to type. In Life of the Amazonia, we are going to be building up an Amazon rainforest. And with the Amazon rainforest, you're going to be populating it, and it has sort of, it reminds me of Ecos, I believe, which is another nature-themed game. And you're trying to make different patterns that are going to score different animals, and there are these adorable animal meeples, and you're trying to work in several different types of currency. Ultimately, it's more or less a bag building type of a game, because you have chips you're putting into a bag. but with these interesting, beautiful meeples and all of this, this building these habitats and landscapes up. It's a really pretty game. It's kind of hard to find and kind of expensive, but it's a great game with a great nature theme and one that it's kind of flown under the radar, I think, but it's a really good nature themed game. That's my number 5, Life of the Amazonia. All right, let's get into the top 4. My waterfall's still intact, assuming I build it every play. It is because I got the wooden one. The cardboard one would fall apart if you played more than like twice, and it's a real pain to put together. And honestly, I'll tell you, this is for Life of the Amazonia. I'll tell you, I sometimes just lay it out flat. I mean, the waterfall looks striking, but putting it together is a real pain. Anyway, I think I'm on number 4. Yes, my number 4 is a new one. It's one I don't know how new it is, but it's new to me. I only recently discovered it. I didn't put Wingspan on here, but another game by designer Elizabeth Hargrave is Undergrove. Um, Undergrove is a game all about mushrooms, sort of. Mushrooms and trees. um, and I can't seem to find it online. Well, we might do it without pictures because I don't want to jinx things. Maybe it's one word. Yes, it is. Well, I apparently wrote it wrong. Undergrove, what you are is you're kind of a network of trees, and you are building up yourself and trying to photosynthesize and survive and have access sources and elements you need to be a thriving, healthy tree. And what you're going to be doing is using these, you've got carbon, which you need to do actions, and then you're going to photosynthesize to sort of regenerate it. And as you absorb the carbon, you're going to be building your tree up. If you absorb enough, you're going to be able to score, to turn your little sapling into a tree. But every time you absorb, that's going to move you one sort of step toward the end of the game. And the scoring on this is really interesting because you're going to score only things that are adjacent to trees put carbon on. And so if you've got 1 carbon, it's going to score 1 thing. If you've got 2, it'll score 2. But if you put 3 on there, that's going to make it into a tree, and it's going to score everything that's adjacent to it, assuming you have roots on it. So it's a really weird game. The mushroom theme is kind of fun. I don't know that it's that thematic, but I like sort of this nature cycle of the carbon and the photosynthesis. It's really interesting. That's my number 4, Undergrove. And I think Undergrove, I don't know that it's made that big a splash, but it's definitely worth checking out. All right, let's go on to my number 3. Hopefully. All right, my number 3 we already talked about briefly as I was talking about Shallow Sea. This is Cascadia. Cascadia, Spiel des Jahres winner, and really quite a hit with lots of people, including me and those that I play with. In this game, you are going to be taking a token and a tile and building up your landscape, and then populating it with animals, and each animal is going to score a little bit differently. That's going to change from game to game. And it's a gorgeous game with this sort of peaceful, natural theme, and it's a real crowd pleaser because turns are really fast, scoring's really easy, it's easy to get into and understand, and it brings that nice nature theme right along with it. So that's my number 3, Cascadia. Let's go on to number 2. Number 2 is one that was sort of destined to be on this list from the moment I thought it up. It's the most nature of themed games, and that game is Earth. Earth, you're building up an ecosystem on Earth, and apparently, yeah, and the artwork's, I don't know, the artwork's just okay. This picture's quite striking, but on the cards it feels kind of generic. But what you're going to be doing is building different kinds of combos. Every turn you're going to select one action, and then you and everybody else gets to do it, but you get a sort of beefed up version of it. And then you're going to go through your entire Earth tableau and activate every card that matches the color action that you did. So as you go through the game, you're going to specialize and make sort of certain actions be really good for you. And then you're going to score points for just about everything, for putting things on tree or on putting these tree pieces out, for putting out buds or soil sprouts. That's what they're called. Lots of different things. There's scoring cards. It's good solo. It's good with a small number of players. It's even good with a large number of players. It's just a very good crowd-pleasing game. There are these animals that are going to be kind of first to score goals. Earth is just really fantastic, very enjoyable, and very natural. So let's go on and figure out what my number one nature-themed game can be. And those who know me probably know what it is already. My number one is a game that I have loved for a long time. There's actually several expansions for it now. It came out, I discovered it on the Dice Tower cruise, I think 2 cruises ago. It is a game about building a forest by shuffling cards, and that is Forest Shuffle. Forest Shuffle is just a fantastic game. You've got these great artwork. It doesn't feel like, the Earth artwork feels like it's stock photos. Forest Shuffle artwork feels like it's done for the game. And you're building up, you're going to be placing out trees, and then you're going to be able to put animals by tucking the cards at the different sides on these trees, and they're going to score different things for a lot of different ways. Like some trees score for other trees. Some, animals will score if you have a lot, foxes will score if you have lots of rabbits. Rabbits will score if there are lots of rabbits. So, you're building up these combos. You're trying to make your forest the best it can be. You will ultimately, on your turn, it's really easy. You're either going to draw 2 cards or play one. Super fast. Turns just go like this. And then, the scoring itself can be, there's an app that helps you, but I don't know. I don't know how much it actually helps. It took a long time just to even get it out. But I really like the game. And with people who know the game, I mean, it's dive right in and play. This is one of my go-to travel games. It's a real crowd pleaser for just about everybody because it feels different, yet it has this great nature theme, and it's a really enjoyable game to play. So that's my number one, Forest Shuffle. And that is the end of my top 10 list this week. I really apologize for all the technical difficulties. I don't know what was going on. It looks like once we got in, things got resolved, but sometimes, sometimes this program just messes up. Hopefully we can edit this video to get out some of that 5-minute break in the middle where I disappeared and probably said some bad words. I hope those didn't get picked up. Anyway, I will end it here. Hopefully we'll be back next week without technical difficulties. Until then, I'm going to wish you safe travels, courage when you need it, and I hope to see you back again soon for another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. Bye-bye.